Hey, what's up everybody? 3D Theory here. Today, we're checking out the PlateCycler C1M for the Bambu Lab A1 Mini sent to me by Chitu Systems. But before we go any further, let me make this clear that Chitu Systems didn't give me a script and didn't ask me to say anything specific. They just wanted my honest thoughts after using this system, and that's exactly what you're gonna get here today. The reason I was excited to try this is because I've had a production problem for a while now with one of my designs, the Traditional Animation Desk Keychain. And I think the PlateCycler C1M will solve that problem. Alright guys, so let's get this thing unboxed. Just gonna flip it over, cut that piece of tape there, and as soon as we open it, we're greeted with the user manual. And it seems to open up like an accordion, and we have everything we need there, including the parts that came with it and how to install it. Alright, I'm gonna remove this foam padding. Next, we're greeted with what's inside the box. I'm gonna remove this foam padding as well, and inside we have the holder for the trays, and it looks like some really well-designed injection molded plastic. Then we have the tray for the multiple build plates. Then we have the ejector and lever lifter unit, which has this back piece attached to it. And I'm just gonna take this foam piece out. And then we have the heat bed tail gripper. Take that foam piece out. And these look to be push blocks that actually, if I'm not mistaken, are 3D printed. I love to see 3D printed parts, especially for little things like this, because it really gives you an idea of how 3D prints can actually be used as a functional item within a system. Then we have the heated cable guide, some springs, and a couple of hex keys. And last but not least, which is totally cool, you get 4 PEI sheets with the little hook in the front that allows this system to work. There you go. And there's that little hook I was talking about. All right, now that we got this stuff unboxed, let's put this thing together. All right, guys, so for this first part, I'm just gonna bring the build plate all the way back and take off the PEI sheet. Then I'm just gonna reach for the heat bed cable guide and bring it around, sticking it to the back of this cable here. And I'm just gonna push it through and rotate it just like that. And also lock this bottom into place just like that, so the square is down at the bottom. Then I'm going to grab the heat bed tail gripper and just push it up on this back part of the build plate. There's one side and there's the other. And now that that's attached, I'm going to grab the holder for the tray along with the 4 springs it came with, and I'm going to stick in 1 spring per hole, just like that. Now I'm going to grab the tray that's for multiple build plates and just align the springs with the holes on the bottom of that, just like that. Then I'm going to grab the screw it came with and the thicker hex key, and I'm just going to put that screw into this hole here and tighten it until it's a bit tight, just like that. Next, just ensuring that this latch is loose, I'm going to press this button here, just like that, and I'm going to push this forward and stick this to the back of the A1 Mini. And once it clicks into place, it's good to go. Now on each build plate, there's a little hook down here at the bottom, if you can see there. And that hook's gonna need to line up with the hook that's right here. Now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna grab one of these build plates, put it in the front here, and push it forward so that I can now use this screw here along with that hex key to bring it down and align it with the hook, and I'll show you down at the bottom. So if you guys can see here, this hook needs to line up with the hook of the build plate, and right now it's just a little too high. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that screw on the plate and tighten it until the plate gets dropped down a tad bit so that it lines up perfectly. Right now it's still a little too high, so I'm just tightening it a little more, and still it's just a little too high, and I tightened it even more, and it looks like now the hooks are engaging. And just to give you a quick visual, this is the screw that I was tightening so that the bed drops a little bit more so those hooks can engage. All right guys, so once this is leveled properly, this hook and this hook should engage as the build plate goes back, latches on, and pulls the PEI sheet forward. Once properly engaged, you can grab your build plates and start laying them in. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. And you can give it a try by taking it back. See that it grabbed the first one. Then we're going to try the second one, and it did. Then the third one, and finally the fourth one. And it did its job perfectly. And just to note, you can do 10 build plates at a time. Now the next piece of hardware we're going to install is that ejector and lever lifter unit. We're going to want to make sure that this latch is loose, so I'm just going to go ahead and click this button. And now that it's loose, we can just install it to the front here, just like that. Down here, there's a little cable management going on. So we're gonna grab the cable and just pop it in. Then simply we're just gonna continue this cable around and bring this other part of that unit, which has the gray part to the side facing the camera, and we're just gonna pop it on just like that. All right, and the next step, we're gonna grab this filament holder here and squeeze the sides and pull it off. As you can see, it's just a little clip there, and we're just gonna clip it on to the lever lifter unit, just like that. And this is after having turned the unit around. All right guys, after tilting the A1 unit on its side so I can show you the front of the build plate, we'll grab one of the push blocks, like so, and we're just gonna stick it onto the front of the build plate there. That's securely in place, and we're just gonna do the same thing with the other side. All right guys, here's the front of the build plate on the other side, and I'm just gonna do the same thing and clip it into place, just like that. I personally just like to make sure that these are all sprayed down with 90% isopropyl alcohol so that there are no oils left from my fingers that'll prevent good bed adhesion. Then I'll just wipe them down, and as I do, I'm just gonna stick it into the back here. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. All right guys, before we run this thing through its paces, we wanna use the provided testing file, which will cycle through the 4 build plates with nothing printed on it, just to make sure that it's doing its job as it should be. And for that, I'll see you in the computer. And I'll just make sure to grab the micro SD card as we head to the computer. All right guys, so now that we jumped into the computer, we're gonna wanna go to PlateCycler.ChituSystems.com. And once we do, we'll be here on this screen, and we're gonna wanna download the self-test 3MF file. And once we download it, we wanna load that file straight into the SD card, take it over to the Bambu Lab A1 Mini, and get it tested out, which we'll do, and I'll see you out in the real world. All right guys, now that we got the PlateCycler test loaded onto the SD card and in the Bambu Lab A1 Mini, we're just gonna go ahead and go over to print files, select the PlateCycler. I turned off bed leveling in dynamic flow just in case, and we're just gonna click print. And now it's running through the plate cycling, and as it does, I'm just gonna let it run. I'll speed it up for you and show you how it works. Before I speed it up, I'm just gonna allow it to finish up one round so you can see what the process is like. There you see it's gonna start pushing it out through the front. It lifted the bed completely up now. It's going to grab another bed, or a PEI sheet rather, while ejecting this one. Now it's pushing the previous PEI sheet off while bringing in the next one. So I'm gonna speed through this and I'll see you when it's done. All right guys, so that's finished and ready to go. The next thing we're gonna do is load up those files after putting the plates back and starting the print. But first things first, I gotta put some filament. All right guys, now that we know that the PlateCycler is working perfectly fine, we're gonna go ahead and run off these Traditional Animation Desk Keychains. Now the issue that I have with these are that I need these to print out at a very high quality, and that's very hard to do with these if you guys have been following along with this channel. I use a 0.2mm nozzle, and if I print multiple of them, as you see here, I tend to not get good results, especially if I'm printing by layer. So when printing by layer, all of them will print at the same time, and I can add more on the build plate with this type of printing. However, when I do that, the results vary widely, with some of them looking good while others not so good. So I went ahead and tried printing them out by object, and what that does is that it allows me to print one at a time. But I also had issues with corners lifting with this method, and as you can see, I could only keep 4 on the build plate, or else it says here the animation desk is too close to the others and collisions may be caused. For that reason, as well as for the reason that I want to have really high quality prints with these, I only print these one at a time. And since I can only print one at a time, using the PlateCycler, I can have 4 with one print job with really high quality results. And so that is what we're going to do here today. After I slice it out over here, I'm going to take that G-code into the Chitu Systems PlateCycler web app. Now that we're in the web app again, I'm going to take that G-code, drop it in, and it shows you one plate takes 2 hours and 25 minutes, And we're going to just continue to drop them in, increasing the plate number to 4, and it's going to take 9 hours and 42 minutes. This is exactly where the PlateCycler shines, allowing me to increase my production 4 times the amount per print job. So with that, I'm just going to generate the file. Now that I got the filament loaded up on there, I'm just going to go ahead and select the file, ensuring bed leveling and dynamic flow calibration is on, and I'm just going to click print on that PlateCycler file we created. As this thing prints through, I'll come back and I'll show you as the plates go on. One thing to note, as I went to go start this, I realized that I need to have a build plate on there already. So I'm going to take off one of the build plates, put it on, then start the print. So I just grabbed one of the build plates. So I just placed a build plate on there, and now I'm going to start the print again. And this way, it should work. All right, now with the build plate on there, it does seem to be moving forward with the print job. All right, guys, as you saw there, it cycled through taking that plate out, and it's starting the next plate. So with that said, it's getting late here. By the time I come back in the morning, those 3 plates are going to be finished. So I'll see you guys when it finishes up. All the prints are finished up here. So let's take them off the PEI sheet and take a look. Here is the first one. That is looking absolutely great. Here is the second one. Again, that is looking fantastic. Here is the third one. That's wonderful. And here is the fourth one. Got nothing to say about it other than it looks great, guys. And I just wanted to show you guys a Traditional Animation Desk Keychain that I have already put together, and there you have it. It looks absolutely great. So now that everything is done, this is the part where it really clicked for me. I've casually seen plate cycling systems floating around online before, usually in short clips or random posts, and every time I saw one, it looked kind of DIY. Like you had to print your own parts, mess with G-code, or really know what you're doing to even get started. Because of that, I never really dug deeper into it. It always felt like one of those cool, but probably too difficult for me types of things. And what surprised me here is how easy this was to actually use. This is a finished product. You unbox it, set it up, use its own software to run a test, and it just works. There's nothing intimidating about it at all, which was great. And on top of that, the value actually makes sense to me. You're getting 4 PEI build plates right out of the box, which on their own already add up, and this whole system runs for about $79.99 for something that lets me get more output per print job and doesn't require me to stand here waiting around. That's huge. I hit start, walk away, and come back to 4 clean, high-quality prints. That's exactly how I wanted them. No babysitting, no rushing to remove parts. It solved a very specific problem I had, and it did it in a way that felt simple and doable. For me, that's what makes this worth talking about. Well, that about wraps it up here in the Tiny 3D Print Farm. 3D Theory here. Until next time, guys, peace, love, and joy.